Since about the middle of the last century, the largemouth bass has been the odds-on favorite of anglers across North America. The fish is a willing biter and gives a spirited account of itself when hooked. They get big, with double-digit fish a possibility from some environments. It's a beautiful fish to behold, too. And it's excellent eating for those willing to harvest smaller fish for the table with that delicate, flaky white, mild-tasting flesh that's adaptable to so many recipes. Besides those accolades, the fish is widely distributed across North America. Never hurts to have the fish of your dreams available right out your back door. We might take a moment to look at this marvelous creature swimming down below. This fish is a robust beast, a compact package of muscle built for short bursts of speed and maneuverability. The largemouth has been described as the consummate visual predator. What the fish sees first attracts their attention. A highly developed lateral line system spread across the head of the bass and then running in a line down the side of the fish detect low-frequency vibrations in the water. Bass have great vision, but they don't scrutinize fine details well at close range. So it's often that vibration input from the lateral line that determines whether or not a bass bites once it's drawn in close.
I was playing the vibration experiment once again and had gone to the big chigger craw. Look at this big old piggy. I love it. There's that chigger craw right there. Big, wide thumpers, big paddlers on there. And I work this one a little bit differently a lot of the time. Instead of moving it along real fast, I'll just let it do its thing. It just hits those weeds down there, chunka, it's just going. It bowls right on through. Boy, I love it, I love it, I love it.
Moving on, we can take the pulse of some of the fishing around North America, beginning as we often do in North Texas, with a look at Lake Fork, which continues to be the busiest bass fishery in North America. Of course, it's the prime-time spring season from February to May that attracts the most attention.
Yes.
Many different fishing patterns prevail, including the option for outstanding bed fishing for big fish.
That is not a little fish.
Oh my gosh!
Look at that.
Folks, I tell you what,
That's what we're here for.
we have gotten a sight fishing lesson and a half thanks to my man Richie. Gosh.
After spawning, the fish follow shad to offshore structure that includes humps and channel bends. This is where fishing with big flutter spoons originated. But the fish go for the same fare as anywhere else. Fork fishes well right on through summer and fall and even into winter, although action slows. You'll always have a shot at big fish though. Skirted jigs and soft trailers are typical fare, with a sandtone rattlin' jig dressed with a Berkeley chigger craw being a particularly productive local favorite.
There's nothing like coming down here during the wintertime and being able to throw jigs. I love to throw jigs. That feeling when they thump that thing like that, it's just awesome.
While fishing on most Florida waters is every bit as diverse as anywhere else in North America, some of the best seasonal fishing is with big wild shiners during January, February, and March on waters such as famous Lake Toho near Orlando or the St. Johns River. Captains like James Jackson and Bob Stonehouse have for years guided clients to big Florida strain largemouths. Shiners are presented on Kale-style hooks, often below a float. The angler monitors the actions of the shiner via the float, with shiners going wild when a bass closes in. It's exciting action, with a shot at bass surpassing 10 pounds.
Big old bass, sir.
That is a big old bass. I guess that's a big old bass. Bob, you were saying you've been getting some monsters.
I've been getting some big ones
no
around here.
kidding. Man, what a fish. Look at this.
While many other southern waters beckon, let's take a big turn to the north. North Country bass may not get as big, typically topping out in the 6-pound range, but the fish thrive throughout a range of waters from various kinds of reservoirs to the Mississippi River backwaters to many different kinds of natural lakes. Whether in South Dakota or Minnesota, Michigan, or New York, largemouths spend most of their time relating to vegetation. Now, sometimes it's emergent vegetation like hard-stem rushes, but most often it's submergent vegetation where bass hunt along deeper-lying weed edges, often holding in pockets or along specific stands where two types of vegetation meet. Anglers grind spinnerbaits, blade jigs, and crankbaits over, through, or alongside this cover. Or they do more detailed work with tube jigs or jig heads dressed with soft bodies. One of the hottest options for the In-Fisherman staff the past several seasons has been a skirted jig dressed with a Berkeley Power Bait Max Scent Creature Hog.
They have loved that creature hog all season long. Of course, the combination of scent and taste once they bite it. So deadly combination this year.
Finally, we focus on the thousands and thousands of smaller man-made waters lying in just about every corner of North America. Strip pits, barrow pits, many different kinds of built ponds, and small reservoirs. These waters have been vital in expanding the range of the largemouth bass and offering fishing in areas that otherwise didn't have a lot of options. The Giant Goose Ranch complex near Canton, Illinois, just south of Peoria, is a perfect example. Today, a thriving cabin community exists around more than 40 reclaimed coal mining strip pits, many with bass intensively managed to produce exceptional fishing.
Look at that. That's the proof right there.
Given the popularity of the largemouth, it should be no surprise that fishing for them fuels much of a thriving fishing industry. Magazines and digital sites, YouTube and television, fishing tournaments, and an industry that produces everything from boats and electronics to fishing lures. The backbone of it all is a feisty fish and the everyday anglers that love the challenge of catching them.
Oh, you got him. Whoa.
How big is that thing?